So I am a big fan of underdogs. Vegeta, Naruto, Izuku Midoriya, some of my favorite characters in all of anime, in all of literature, are underdogs, and that's because they just don't get the limelight that they deserve. Some of them just might not be so strong, some of them their design might be kind of weak, and some of them might just not be a fan favorite because there are other operators to be fans of. Who knows what the reason is that these operators are underrated or are underdogs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these underdogs and I'm gonna turn them around and give them a little and turn them into a champion, whether it be he or her. Today, what we're going to be doing is something a little special. Today, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be taking some of my favorite 4 and 5 star units that maybe I want to see get, a little love, a little boost. And we're going to boost them up to the 6 star status. We're going to take these 4 and 5 stars and imagine, if you will, what they would be like if they were a 6 star unit. Now, let me preface this by saying I am no game designer. I do not balance games, so these operators may just well be broken. I don't know. All I'm saying is this is what I would like to see design wise if these characters were brought up to the level, to the strength, to the design of some of these 6 stars that do have crazy sick E2 skins. They are jacked out of their minds, and quite honestly, some of the most broken units of the game. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the first unit, which is Blue Poison. Now, Blue Poison, everyone knows Blue Poison is a great sniper unit. I'm not saying she's bad. I'm just saying she could use a little tweaking. Now, her E2 skin is, let me just say it's boring, okay? Her E2 skin is kind of boring, and that's not why I'm getting on her. The reason I'm getting on her is her talents, okay? So what Blue Poison does is she is a poison user. She is meant to do damage over time, right? So when you max out her talent and her poison, she's only doing 85 magic damage every second, which, okay, you're getting ticks on your enemies, that's quite good. But if she's a poison master, we're gonna make her a poison master. We gotta up that poison count. So here's what I'm thinking. When you E2 her as a 6 star, she gets a new talent, and we're gonna call it Potency, okay? And if you see me looking over here, it's because I have all the skills over here. I got them written down because there's no way I'm gonna remember all these. But here's the deal. Poison stacks up to 3 times on an enemy. So anytime you hit an enemy, you're applying poison up to 3 times. So in this case, we're gonna be going up to 255 damage per second. Okay. Now, I don't think that's too much to ask for a 6 star unit. I think that's pretty decent, right? If she's a poison master, or she's going to become a poison master, it only stands to reason that her poison is going to get more potent and it's going to do more damage as she advances. So we have the potency. So now she's doing more damage. Next up, we got to give her another ability. We got to give her a skill 3. So here's what I'm thinking. Skill 3. She has an ability. We're going to call it Gas Cloud. Okay. This is basically going to act like a summon. It's basically a bomb. You're going to be able to, it's going to charge over time, and you're going to get to drop it wherever you want. This poison gas cloud is going to have a range similar to Aofiala's Volcano, and anytime a unit walks onto one of the squares in that range, they get a poison stack. Okay. Now, same thing. This stacks up to 3 times. So if they're walking across the whole horizontal unit, they're not going to get 7 poison stacks. They're only getting up to 3. But as soon as they walk into one square, boom, poison stack. As soon as they walk into the second, boom, second poison stack. Third, boom. So you can drop this gas bomb all the way across the map and start poisoning units, and they'll start taking that damage over time. Now, I think that's pretty killer as an advanced poison unit, that she would get this crazy poison bomb that she can just send across the map, start ticking damage away. I think as a DPS unit, that would be pretty sick, and it also wouldn't take away from her normal damage that she's doing, because her normal skills, it affects how much damage that she's doing with her normal attacks. But because we have that new talent, that now her regular attacks are stacking poison, dealing more damage, we don't have to worry about that. So I think that's pretty cool. And by the way, I'm going to be putting right above me some kind of ideas, some fan art that I've seen around that I think would fit these characters' new E2s a little bit better. And I'll be putting all the links to the fan art below, or I'll be putting the links for the fan art that is above me in the description below. So if you want to check any of that out, all that's going to be down there. And these are just some kind of ideas that I've seen that, you know, might reflect these new ideas, these new E2s a little bit better. So that's what I got for Blue Poison. I think she could be really sick as a 6-star E2. Yeah, okay. Moving on. Next up, we got Frostleaf. Frostleaf is one of the coolest design units that I never use. I think that her design is super sweet, and as a 4-star unit, she just doesn't get used as much as I would like to use her. Okay. Also, the fact that honestly, her skills not that great. So first of all, let's take a look at where she is now. So her skill 1, her next attack will deal higher physical damage, inflicts movement speed down, and for a certain number of time. Okay. Her skill 2, let's get that up to 7. She increases her attack speed, she inflicts movement speed down, and she has a chance to bind. So she's a guard, she's a ranged guard who likes to slow down enemies and who likes to bind enemies. That's kind of her strength. Okay. So knowing all that, knowing that she likes to slow units, she likes to bind units, and an important note going forward with the skill is if you look at her, let's look at her E1 skin first of all. She's got this cool little pole axe that she's standing on, right? If we go to her E2, well, her pole axe is right there. Now, what is this giant axe that she pulled out of nowhere, right? Now, I've looked when I'm playing Frostleaf, but when she uses her abilities, I don't see that axe anywhere, right? So why is it in her art? So here's the deal. What I would like to do is I would like for her skill 3 to use this axe. So here's what we're going to do. Looking at her E2 art, I think it kind of looks like a blood wave, right? So what I would like to see, skill 3, blood wave, throws a giant axe, which creates a giant wave that attacks forward until it goes off the map. Okay. We're doing big damage to everyone it hits. And we're also, maybe not big damage, maybe we're doing normal damage. Maybe big damage is too much for this ability, but whatever, it does damage. As it goes in that direction, it's going to leave residue, let's say blood, on the map, on the tiles. It's going to slow any enemies it catches in the wave. Those enemies are going to be slowed. But also this blood trail is going to have a chance to bind enemies. Okay. Now, if we look at her kit, she's really not utilizing the slow or bind mechanics anywhere. Like, yes, she is slowing and yes, she is binding, which is nice given that she can attack at range. Well, let's increase that a little bit. Okay. I want to utilize the wolf's head. Okay. So when we E2 her as a 6-star, here's my idea. So we have this talent called Gray Strike. So whenever a unit is bound within her range, a wolf's head will appear from Frostleaf and attack that unit for arts damage. I think that's pretty sick. That gives her more benefit from her slow and her bind, and bind is a mechanic that, you know, a lot of units don't have. So I think that would give her a real unique ability, really unique talent, really unique dimension. It lends into her E2 skin, which honestly, her E2 skin is good as it is. You'll see the one above me is not too much different from the one that they have here. Because I do really like her E2 skin, but that I think would just give her that little bit extra damage, a little bit extra versatility. Maybe the whole wave going off the entire map thing is a little bit busted, but like I said, I'm no game balancer. I'm doing this for fun, and that's what I think would be sweet. A blood wave for Frostleaf. I think she would be a super sweet 6-star unit. Okay, that's Frostleaf. Next up, we got one of my favorites in this group, right? Gray. Now, Gray is a weak little boy. Okay, Gray is not that good. So what does Gray do? He likes to use electricity. Gray is our electricity wizard, right? All he does is he inflicts a little bit of slow, and not that much of it. Really not that good. His first skill, really not that good, even if we come through it. His second skill, really not that good. Okay, it increases, you know, the multiplier on his talent, but his talent is not that good in the first place. So we gotta juice this little boy up. We gotta make him real good if he's gonna be contending in the 6-star range. So what is Gray as a character? What is Gray? Gray's a little boy who's lost his parents, and he can control lightning. Now, I don't know about you guys. I know another character who can control lightning and has lost his parents. And that boy is Billy Batson, Shazam himself, Captain Marvel, if you want to go back that far. So I want to turn Gray into a Shazam style character, because if there's one thing we know about anime loves transformations, and I don't see a lot of transformations in this game. So let's get some transformations and let's turn Gray into our Billy Batson. So here we go. As a little kid, he's alone, right? So he's got a benefit from being alone. So when you E2 our 6-star Gray, he's going to get a talent called whatever, his little kid talent. Let's call it the Billy Batson. While there are no allies in the 4 adjacent tiles, his attack and attack speed is going to go up. Now this is very similar to Sayubi or Sayabi, Chibi, whatever you want to call her. I don't even know what to call her yet, but this is just straight up her ability. I don't know what percentage and what number it would be, but you know, he's got to get a little bit of buff as a kid. But here's the thing. Let's get into his... Actually, before we talk about his Shazam or his transformed talent, let's get into his S3, okay? So his S3 is going to be what transforms him. So how are we going to do this? First of all, we're going to summon a bolt of lightning to Gray. And what that's going to do is it's going to attack out in 3 adjacent range, similar to Rat King, if you've played that level, 3 squares in each direction. Okay, that's going to deal, let's say, like 200% damage in that plus sign. But also what it's going to do is inside the plus, so similar to Aofiala's Volcano again, inside the other squares, it's going to do a smaller percent damage, right? So it's going to bolt out in those 4 directions, and then everywhere else it's going to kind of ripple and become weaker. Then what's going to happen is he's going to become his transformed form for a period of time. I don't know how long, let's say 60 seconds, okay? So what happens when he becomes that? Because that's all the skill 3 does, is just that much damage and transforms him. So here's what happens when he transforms. First of all, he's going to be buffing himself. We're going to give him a percentage attack buff, right? Let's give him like 20%. I don't know. I don't do the numbers. Let's just say it's something like that. What he's also going to do, he's going to increase his range, okay? Because Gray's range, if we take a look at it, is not all that great, okay? So let's just give him 1 more row of attack, okay? Let's do that for Gray's sake. Now, what he'll also do is he's going to inspire the other operators on the field. So all your other operators are going to gain a small attack buff, let's say like 10%, something not as high as his, but something that's a partial percentage of his, okay? So we're going to do that. They're also going to gain the ability Last Stand, right? Because if you're a hero, if you're inspiring others, you're gonna get that cliche, the hero and his friends are almost dead, but then they come back and beat the bad guy. So here's what we're gonna do. If a unit would die, instead restore 5% health, and it doesn't drop below 5% health for 4 seconds, which is not that long, but it's just enough to get your healers in and scoop them up, heal them up, and then they defeat the enemy. I think that's pretty sick. Maybe that's busted in half because it can happen to all your units. So if you have like Frost Nova come in, bomb all your guys, nope, they're not dead. Maybe that's too busted. I don't know, but I think a sick ass transforming Gray into a grown-up man, I think that's sick. You know, turn him into Shazam, turn him into Thor, something like that, something where he gets big and buff and he's no longer this wimpy little kid who, let's be honest, does like next to no damage. I think that would be sweet. Now, who do I want to talk about last? So here's the deal. There's a reason I made this video. The reason I made this video is because of this next operator and our last operator for this video, because I love this character's design, and that character is Nightmare. Okay, I don't know why, but I love the design of Nightmare. I love the idea that she does 2 completely different things. Okay, so in case you don't know, her skill 1, every attack will heal 1 ally within that attack range for a percentage of the damage, and if you M3 this, it goes up to 2 allies and it does the complete heal per damage. So her first ability is more about healing. Her second ability is to immediately inflict Nightmare effect on up to 3 targets. And all that does is slows them down and then over a period of time deals damage to them. So this is her damaging ability, right? Because Nightmare is taken over by this persona called Nightmare. Really, who we're looking at here is Gloria. So now if we look at her E2 skin, wow, that looks no different. Okay, let's do that change again. Let's look at it once. Now, did I even change the image there? I don't know, because that looks so similar to her normal skin. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk Nightmare, because with a design as cool as this, she should be used way more often, right? I think like people should be using her all the time. But here's the deal, they're not. And you know why? Because her kit's not really that good. It could be better. So how are we going to make her better? So here's the deal. Here's what we're going to do. We could go one of 2 ways with Nightmare. I've chosen one that I think is my favorite, but here's the deal. We could make it so that Gloria and Nightmare assimilate and they become one and they work together. But we all know that's really no fun. What we want to do is have Nightmare completely take over and go berserk mode, because everyone loves when a character goes berserk mode. I just watched Hunter x Hunter, and when Gon went berserk mode, that shit was awesome. I waited 100 and something episodes for that, and then it finally came and was so satisfying. So here's the deal. We're going to do it with Nightmare. What are we going to do? So when Nightmare takes over, because she's not going to be taken over the whole time. At the beginning, she will be Gloria, and then eventually we're going to transform her. But when she transforms, you know that avatar has got to change. That's something that's a big complaint I have with this game, is that like when you E2 a character, their avatar should change. You should know that you've E2'd that unit, not just a little splash art, not just a little thumbnail. The avatar should change. So when she transforms into Nightmare, she's going to get all shadowy. It's going to be epic, okay? So how do we get this done? Well, I want this ability to be like Blaze, right? Her Blaze is S2. I want it to charge up and then it becomes just infinite duration. It's not an ability you press. It's just going to be a static change. So when she transforms, okay, she's going to be attacking 3 enemies at once. Now, why 3? Well, in her second ability where she's attacking as Nightmare, she's inflicting Nightmare on up to 3 targets. So we're borrowing from her skill 2, and it applies the Nightmare effect. Now we're going to change this Nightmare effect from this. It probably needs a new name. I'll give it that. It probably needs a new name because it's not going to do exactly what this does. It's going to act like Weakening, okay? It's going to act like Weakening from Praminix. But what it's also going to do, because it's a Nightmare, or whatever we're going to call it, Scare, I don't know, I'm not a designer, but what it's going to do is cause the enemies hit by this to run in the opposite direction. Now maybe, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe this is a little busted when you're hitting 3 units at once, because you're going to cause a lot of enemies to run the opposite direction. And like the Nightmare is eventually going to wear off, but she can basically just wall a lane on her own. Maybe that's a bit busted, but like I said, I'm no game designer. I just come up with the ideas and it's up to other people to balance them. So if you have a way to balance this, please let me know. So our new talent, Complete Control. So when skill 3 is active, she's getting attack boost, she's getting a range boost, so we're going to Praminix level range when she's E2'd, but she takes damage over time. Now, I think this would have to be pretty significant damage given what I've just said about how broken her the whole like Nightmare running away thing is. So now that I'm rethinking this is probably bust in half. But like I said, again, I'm not here to balance, I'm here to have fun. And this would be a busted ass unit that would be super fun to play. So I think that's cool because her taking damage over time is kind of like, you know, Nightmare taking over Gloria's body. It's gonna hurt her, it's gonna affect her psyche, it's gonna start wearing on her, right? So I think it could be a pretty significant damage over time. And it would probably have to be in order for this to be balanced. But I think in no way is this balanced. I just think it's a cool design. I think it's a cool idea. It borrows a little bit from her skill 2. It doesn't really borrow anything from her skill 1 because this is Nightmare taking over. I did have some designs where, you know, it was Nightmare and Gloria working together where it was a little bit of her skill 1 and skill 2. And maybe I'll do that in a future video. If you like this video, let me know, and I'll do another one of these in the future. I'll take some more units who I think could use some love, turn them into 6 stars, and we'll see how broken we can make them or not. We'll try and make them a little bit more fair, possibly. But that's all I have for today, guys. Those are the units that I've worked on over the past week with their new 6-star E2 designs, if you will. If you guys enjoyed, please let me know down in the comment section below. If you guys did like it, I may do another one of these in the future. I may take some more units, beef them up a little bit, turn them into a 6-star unit, and see what we can do with them. Maybe we'll break them, maybe we won't. We'll probably break them more than likely because, you know, that's just more fun than being cautious. If you like what you saw, please click the subscribe button. That way you always know when I put out a new video like this one. And if you want to see some more Arknights content, you can go to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/xjazz207. But guys, like I said, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!